I gave the 5 most popular vibe coding platforms the exact same prompt. Replit, Base 44, Lovable, Codex, and Claude Code. The challenge was simple. Build a modern web app called Thumbnail AI that helps YouTube creators generate thumbnail concepts. I'm not just judging which one looks best. I'm judging which platform can create a finalized thumbnail and produce the best result. So in this video, I'm going to test out all 5 platforms. I'm going to give them the exact same prompt. We're going to see if any of these platforms can create a finalized product off of a single rip. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Christian. I create videos weekly about the newest AI tools to help beginners better understand what tools they should be using. So if that's something you're interested, subscribe. Let's lock in for the next few minutes and find out which vibe coding platform can actually produce a functioning product off of a single prompt. And let's get right into it. We're going to start with our first vibe coding platform. All right, we got Replit up first. I have never used it before. I just signed up for the first time, finished the onboarding. It was very quick. Now let's go ahead and paste the prompt in and see what the results are. Looks like they have a plan mode. This is similar to Codex, where you actually figure out exactly the specifics of the app and it asks you some questions. We're just gonna fire away. So the user interface seems okay so far. You just had this view pop out. It looks like this is going to be our canvas for what the app is actually going to look like. I think all of the vibe coding apps have something like this where you can actually visualize it inside of the platform. Verify your phone to use Replit managed AI providers or use your own API key instead. We're going to be using our own API keys across these platforms. We're going to be inputting a OpenAI API key. So we're going to select use my own API key. And it's cool that you can provide the API key privately directly inside of the chat. That's very cool. I got my API key. Let's go ahead and paste that in there. Continue. So I am a fan of the user interface so far. I think this looks pretty clean. Definitely has a high-tech feel. I like this icon movement here. I think that's pretty neat. We got some things happening here. The cool thing with these vibe coding platforms is that the AI can actually go in and see what the final result looks like. It can go and diagnose errors on its own, and it's very good at doing that. And that's what it's doing right now. It sees that there's errors and it's going and making changes until there are no visible errors. There might be some UI things that look weird or maybe out of place, but when it comes to actually errors in the showcasing and running of the code, it's very good at fixing those up without any guidance. And it looks like we actually got something to work with here. I don't really love the user interface. It seems very basic, but we're going to test this out once it's fully done creating the app, and we're going to see what the results look like, because I guess what we really care about are the results of the thumbnails. I mean, it's an added bonus when the app looks good, but what can the app actually produce? That's what I'm more worried about here. But as you can see, there's still things that are being fixed over here. We have the OpenAI URL erroring out somewhere. We're going to make a thumbnail for this video. All right, so this is what the information I'm going to paste in all of the fields across all of the apps that we generate across the platforms. Channel niche, bring that over. We got target viewer, you beginners out there, core promise. We're gonna be testing all the platforms out, see which one creates the best results. Emotional hook, same prompt, 5 platforms, 1 winner. Choose a style. Go with the bold text overlay. All right, let's see the final results. So it's creating the concept, and then I can go and pick the concept to generate the AI image. This is super cool. Face over here. What the hell is this over here? Clickability. How's that a 9 out of 10? Everything's on top of each other. All right, we're gonna go the face off. A split screen design with the host's surprise face in the left. It doesn't have a picture of my face yet, but we're gonna go with this one. But do we really want, what is this circle in the middle, and why is there focal, and what is the screen? I don't know. We're gonna go with this one. Failed to generate image generation prompt. We actually have the prompt right here to look at. Center focus thumbnail showing large bold text, easiest platform. Okay. So this didn't work. But, you know, you give it a few prompts and you make some changes. I think this would be a pretty cool app. You know, this got me a little bit excited, I won't lie. But the result failed on the first try. That's okay. Obviously, we could iterate and make this a working product. But let's go on to the next app. All right, let's get going with Lovable. I'm a big fan of Lovable. I used it a lot before I started using Codex. I've built a handful of landing pages and apps using Lovable. It's definitely a platform that's going to hold your hand while the app is being built. It's a great tool for beginners. Let's go ahead and grab that prompt and let Lovable cook. That was pretty quick, only a few minutes, and look at that. Now that looks pretty clean. Let's go ahead and fill out the form right here, created on the left. We're gonna select Tech Futuristic, and we'll do curiosity, and let's go paste those same values in. We got same title, same niche, same target, and the same promise. Okay, let's generate it. Doing some thinking, figuring it out. I like it. I think this looks very clean. And here's what it came up with. I just think it's funny how these concepts are shown. Just like, they seem so random. Is there any like thought going into that? Probably not. This is the highest score, 9.4, the hologram Q ... Which built it best? We don't have a focal point on here. We got focal points everywhere else. An explanation of why it works in the layout, and then we got the exact prompt. And okay, what I'm really looking for is the actual vibe coding tools that we could showcase, or like logos, but we'll go with this one. What is this button right here? That's a save button. Can I see where the save ones are? Doesn't really look like it. What is that a comparison? Save, oh, the save is down here. That's cool. Oh yeah, so compare, 2 out of 2 compare. Cool. Very, very cool. Let's go and generate the highest rating one according to the app. 9.4 out of 10. Fingers crossed. You know, this, if it works, it's going to take a minute because that's how long these AI images take to generate. Apparently not. I don't remember what the actual layout looked like, but all right. That's kind of lame, but you know, it worked. That's good. Can I download it? Guess not. Let's go generate another one. Guys, remember a logo is supposed to go right here, and we're supposed to get a screenshot, whatever that means, and a text up top. So the text should be 1 prompt, 5 results. Remember that. So that is not the layout that I described. I'm assuming that wasn't either. But you know, the fact it works is cool, and you can drag it. Can I like download it? Oh yeah, I could drag this to my desktop, and let's go give that a try. Oh, okay, so there is text right here. The one bad thing is that this isn't the size of a thumbnail, but you know, it worked. The first one to actually produce a result, so props to Lovable. Definitely could use some edits, obviously. Let's go check this bad boy out. Who built it best? Huh. I mean, these suck. It seems like it's on speed mode for the image generation. Obviously, you would want a better result, so you would opt for a slower image generation, but you know, it worked. So props to Lovable. This is so far the best tool that we have tested out so far. On to the next one. All right, we are inside of Claude Code. I had to pay a $20 subscription in order to access it, and I downloaded the desktop app for Mac and Apple. All the other platforms I've tried so far, Replit and Lovable, you've been able to try it out for free. This is the first one where I've actually had to pay. And to me, this seems very similar to Codex. I've actually never used Claude Code before, surprisingly. I know it's a very popular platform, but I've never tried it out. Have always stayed in the OpenAI space and have never really tried out Anthropic, even with all that hype going on. I've been pretty loyal to OpenAI. But let's go try it out. This is definitely a little bit more advanced than the other 2 vibe coding platforms. This is less for beginners and more so for people who are more developed developers, if that makes sense. Okay, let's just throw my prompt in there. What I did is I created a folder for it to operate in. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how Codex works. I think it's cool you can see the tokens that are being used up. We are using Sonnet 4.6. That was the default at high. We're going to leave it at that. Let's see what the result is. So no more tokens are being used, but the clock is still ticking and nothing yet. So it's saying 6 minutes and 38 seconds, but it feels a lot longer than that and feels longer than the other platforms, but I honestly have not been keeping track. All right, looks like we got some text that popped out. Let me check the current directory before creating files. Empty directory, empty directory. I'll build the full app here. You've been working for 8 minutes. What have you been doing? We'll let Claude Code cook. We all know this is probably gonna be pretty good. So this looks terrible. So this has got to be the longest it's taken for any of the apps we've tested so far to come up with something. I mean, I guess it's come up with this, but what the hell even is this? So I guess you can do stuff in there, but come on. So it's checking the preview to see how it looks, and it's not going to be impressed. Allow, this is the same as Codex. We're going to allow once. It's going to be like, oh, that's ugly. Okay, I trust you, Anthropic. Oh, look at that. It's much better. Much better. This looks the cleanest so far, I would say. Where can I input my API key? Up here? 20,000 tokens. Not bad. So the preview screenshot, it's actually taking a screenshot of the app and taking a look at that to make sure that the user interface is actually clean. So it says it's fully functional. Let's close that. Let's close this. We can't really do that. I'll slide it over. All right, so we're not really missing anything. Let's copy those things over. API key. I'm gonna hide it from you guys so you don't steal it from me. I can't even hide it, can I? Ooh, okay. Video title, same one across all of the platforms. Same niche, same prompt. 5 platforms, 1 winner. The style, cinematic documentary. We'll go with that, and let's generate the concepts. Ooh, so the preview is definitely the cleanest. I like that it kind of has a little bit of lighting to it to make it look a little bit more 3D and high-techy. They all got 8 out of 10s. We have the cinematic showdown, we have the digital arena, and the dynamic comparison. And I'm assuming that that dot is where the focal point is. So we actually have the prompt down here. We can go ahead and save. What does save do? Saved concepts. Now that's cool. That's something I didn't even ask for. Let's go with the first one. Unknown parameter. Response format. My API key's in there. Generate this one. So it failed. Concept. But pretty damn good. Let's go try out our next platform. All right, now we have Codex up. We are going to choose a new project, use an existing folder. This is something I didn't walk you through with the Claude, but same concept. You have to select a folder for it to work in, and let's just go ahead and throw it in. I believe you do need a subscription in order to access it. I pay 20 bucks a month, and I have a good amount of usage. We're going to stick with the default. This is also one lower than the best. Ideally, I would have went with the best of the best, but because I didn't do it with Claude, we're not going to do it with Codex. We're going to stick with the default choice, which is 5.4 extra high. So let's paste that in, see what it comes up with. So same thing as the other platforms. Preview is over here to the right. So it's definitely a little bit more communicative with the user compared to Claude, as Claude didn't say anything for 8 minutes straight, but this immediately starts telling you what it's doing, and I like that. So as you can see right now, it's actually doing some research online about the OpenAI API information. So it's still planning everything out. It hasn't written a single thing yet. So as you can see, it's been searching the website a bunch. It did 12 different searches here and then 2 searches there. It's doing all researches about OpenAI API usage for image generation. So it's been 6 minutes. Over here you have the progress of the creation. It's still early on according to this progress, but sometimes this can be delayed. But I think this is accurate because it is just started to begin coding after all those searches. All right, I think it might be done. It's going to check it out in the browser currently. It's running it locally. It's not like Replit and Lovable. It's more like Claude, where it's actually hosting it locally. The other one's hosted on the cloud. That's where it's actually building the files. Claude Code and Codex are actually building the files and the code directly on your computer in the folders that I selected. And then it's actually launching those code, that app, from the actual computer it's operating on. So it looks like the progress has been completed, and it's just making sure that it all looks good and that it's functioning properly. And it is now complete. It's typing back the final response, and we're actually going to have to run a development code on the right side. There's no API key present to run, so it said it didn't have the API key, so it couldn't actually finish building. But let's go see what it looks like. Open it up on the browser. I'm going to slide this over. Whoa. So I don't know if it's because this isn't completely full screen, because this still exists, but the letters are coming off the screen. There's a lot going on here, and it has automatically inserted these things inside of here, these values. I'm gonna go ahead and bring mine over. The dark tech, there's actually not a drop down. Oh, there is a drop down, but it's like one concept. It's kind of lame. Generate 3 concepts. Failed to fetch. You know what? I am quite disappointed at OpenAI for live generation. I'm pretty disappointed in this. I thought Codex was going to kill this. I know we're using 4.4 and not, or 5.4 and not 5.5, but you would expect some good things out of OpenAI, and this is not very good. This might be the worst one. Let's inspect it a little bit more. The pills are protruding off the screen. The different blocks are not off the screen, but off of the card. Just doesn't look very clean. You can also save concepts similar to the Claude. That's cool. We have the ranking, we have the prompt, why it works, the layout, description. It's pretty in-depth, I would say. And then we're not going to be able to generate a thumbnail because there's no API key that it asked. For a beginner who wants to begin coding, this is definitely not the platform. It was expecting an OpenAI API key already in the files. Obviously, it wasn't in there. It was a brand new file. Codex is not a platform that's going to hold your hand and guide you through everything. You have to have at least some knowledge about development and app creation, a little bit of information about all that stuff. It goes a pretty far away, but it's definitely not going to hold your hand walking you through the process. I guess I am a little bit disappointed in the outcome of Codex. On to the next platform. Next up, we got Base 44. This looks very similar to Lovable. Let's go jump right into it. This is my first time using Base 44. Their ads have been hammering me. Let's throw that prompt in there and let Base 44 cook. And once again, another plan mode. So right over, there's a preview automatically up. This seems like it's definitely built for beginners, so keep that in mind. Let's see if it can beat out Lovable. So this seems like it operates with speed very similar to Lovable. The Claude Code and the Codex definitely took the longest out of all of the apps or platforms that we tested. And I feel like I'm surprised by that. I guess we could have went on fast mode or chose the better models. We just left it at the default settings and just let it rip as what was provided to us. We didn't change any settings. And look at that, it's created. I like this. I like this user interface. It looks very clean. It's getting a little blurry. I think it's reloading. Yep. So yeah, this is pretty clean. Let's paste those values right in there. Thumbnail style, bold text, face, close up. Let's go with bold text. So is this going to bring us to a new page, or is this going to pop up down below? And it pops up down below. This is unique in that it's the first app to create the concepts down aligned in a single file line. That doesn't really make sense to me. It makes sense to, I guess, you have the choice. So right on cue there, the compare view is definitely better. But I think it's cool that you can have those different choices there. So this looks so similar to all of them, where it's like something like this. Focal point obviously being the face. I guess that's normal. We're gonna obviously we're gonna generate one of these two, the highest scored one. Which one do we like better? AI Coding Showdown. This one actually has the different platforms talked about. So let's actually go with this one. We're going to generate the thumbnail. It didn't ask for my, did it ask for my API token? I don't believe that it did. Did it need my API token? I guess not. And similar to the last app, you can't really download it. You gotta drag it in and see. Not the size of a thumbnail. I guess that's similar to this guy here. Wow, it created almost identical ones. The text was just in different places. So that's interesting. Let's generate this one. Who is this guy? Wow, is this a real human? That's a pretty good image of a person. All right, it's not bad. Not I would never use that though. Might as well just generate this guy too. It never did. Again, this is like a real looking human. Where are they getting these people? But this has nothing to do with my video. TikTok, Instagram, the social media platforms. Easiest to use. All right, so this actually works. I don't know if this is better. This could be better than Lovable. I think I'm gonna have to go with base 44. I think it was a little bit better. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think base 44 did a better job at this app? Let me know down in the comments. All right, so what did you guys think? Do you think Lovable or base 44 won that one? I'm going to have to go with base 44. Although they're neck and neck, I just thought that it was a cleaner layout with the base 44. It might have been a little bit quicker. I don't know, both were pretty fast, but super impressed with those two. I think those two are two of the best platforms for beginners who have never made an app before or a website. I think those two are great starting points. However, if you're looking to build out a more complex system or SaaS product, these products are not for you. They get quite expensive the more you communicate with it, and they're less reliable at fixing errors compared to Claude or Codex. But from a beginner standpoint, those are two of the best vibe coding platforms in the world. So if you found some value out of this, hit the like button. If you want more videos like this, I create new videos every single week, 1 or 2 depending on the type of video that I'm creating, but I'm just looking to provide value to anyone looking for it. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.